Hello, everyone. Welcome to Day Trade Options. Hope you guys had a great day. We had a pretty awesome day once again. This is getting crazy. Um, kind of too easy. I did have a loss today, but I follow my rules. I'll show you. I'll walk you through my trades. Funny thing, I wasn't planning on trading a whole lot today, but I think I traded more today than I have in the last few weeks. So just very weird, very odd day. Wasn't the cleanest day. Definitely were trades that you could have had when we started out this morning in the group. We all discussed, just made sure everyone was understanding today's FOMC. We have a lot of earnings coming in. It could be just a crappy, choppy uh, day to day, and that's kind of what we got. Although we did get some moves, so I kind of went in heavier just so I could scale out quicker and hopefully lock away some profit, and that did work out for me. So let's get right into it. I will show you. I did my setup once again, and let's see how this thing works out here. Yep, TSM. So my initial trade today was uh, okay, so I watched the 202.50. That's one of the levels that I had for the group, and 200. Um, and then also the 208 was above. You can't see it, but that's what I was trading up to. Definitely had to use the LRCs today. They were key in helping me to take profit and to keep from losing my rear end. So I got in calls just like I normally would on a push up off of a major level, a retest of an LRC pushes up across the 20 and the 200. I entered the trade right as it crossed the green of the close. I'm sorry, the last candle, and I scaled out on this big push right here, and then I scaled out here and I took profit on my second red, which is my conservative way of trading, and I ended up with an exact. I had a couple exacts today, which was pretty weird, but an exact $400 profit. So really good, easy trade. I think some people stayed in it longer and they may have given back a lot of their profits. So just, got to be careful on days like today when you know you have earnings and news. To me, I've just learned that I've got to take profit quick. Don't try to be a hero because I end up a zero when I do that. So anyway, um, really good trade, really nice trade. Worked out great. And my next trade was, let me see which one I'm going to pull up. I may not do them in order if I don't get them up in order, but let's see. Okay, Tesla. Yes, Tesla was a cool trade. This is something I want to point out also, just kind of bring to your attention once again. This has kind of been happening a bunch lately, so um, pay attention to what is happening when you get these big monster move candles. It hasn't just been with Tesla, it's been with several stocks lately. I did get burned the other day because I got in one and I ended up taking a loss. It was I think last week. I talked about this in my last video as well. But I had this exact scenario. And most of the time, this is just something to pay attention to, guys. I find that the 2 minute chart really works the best for this situation. Um, you guys can comment whether or not you see it work as well, or the being able to pick it up as well on 5 minute, 1 minute. I just find that the 2 minute chart is really good at presenting what I'm trying to get myself over here. My chair moved. Um, it's really good at like showing the fake out. So basically what happened is you had this huge green candle, man. It went all the way from 395 all the way up above 398. Big, giant move with one candle. But guess what? No follow through, zero move above, right? That is telling. So when this came down and then I got their next red candle, I got right in on the break because I had pointed this out to the group. I said, "Hey guys," and I actually got in up here, not where this is pointing. Let me move it. I got in right there. So it's very. I just told the guys, "Hey, I'm taking this here. This is a breakout trade. Um, could be high risk. This thing could flip right back around on me, so I'm ready to get out if it does, but I'm getting in." So I got in with a good amount of puts. I held. What's really wild, I think I have this on the wrong spot here. Yep, I do. Oh, no, I don't. That was accurate. It was right there because they were back to back. So what was interesting is I didn't add here. Not sure why. Normally I would add on this candle a move up to the 20, push back down. And I didn't scale out right here, which was kind of wild. Normally I would scale out here. I don't know why I didn't scale out. So I did hold this. I thought I was going to end up having to exit when it pushed up, but once again, my 20 and my 200 just kind of helped me to be calm, and trust the levels. 395, the LRC pushed up, stopped on it, went above, touched the 200 almost, or the 20 EMA, and then bam, closed back down. So I stayed in, had the same scenario. What was really cool though, and a little bit hairy, right? I got a push up, and as soon as the selling started coming back in, I added on the 2 level right here, guys. So because this is going to be my exit anyway, right? So I got in here. I added more here because the selling pressure starting to come in. Now I got it a little further down, of course, because I had to see the selling pressure start before I added more contracts. And I added enough that I exited. I scaled out on 3 right here at the LRC level, and then I exited on 4's push back up, and I think I exited right at the close. So I actually ended up with an $850 profit on this trade. So fantastic trade. Not the cleanest, of course. Look at this chop. The better area would have been it clearing the green right here, but you're only getting this drop, which is similar. Could have stayed in it to the orange. But I don't know why I start yawning every time I do a video, guys. Anyway, that was my trade there today. A great spot to get in that I did not was around the one, let's see, 1240 time. You have anytime you're in a pretty good downtrend, right, and you've been riding down with the 20, and then all of a sudden price gets above the 20. If you get a good move below the 20, give it a shot. Get in and then exit at the 20. A lot of the times, I would say more times than not, you're going to get this kind of a move. It's just kind of crazy. We've talked about this in our Discord a bunch if you get a pushback above and retest the 20, once you get the break, if you get in, this is what you get. It happens all the time. Every time you retest the 20, you get pretty significant dumps. This one wasn't so much. It did get above, went down. This one went above, went down. This one went above, went down. Didn't go as far. So you're not going to get it every time, but um, it's just if you're trading and you're trusting a trade concept or strategy, and you want to use this strategy, you have to trust your strategy, right? And you have to have rules. So like if you get in on this candle, I would wait for the close. I'd get in on the move just below the close. As soon as it moved below the close, I'd be in on this. If it moved back above and closed above the 20, I may exit. I usually wait for 2 consecutive closes above the 20, which obviously is more risk, but to me it's worth it to hold because a lot of times you'll get the fake out and then it then it continues. So anyway, to each his own. You guys trade how you like, but that's just how I would trade it. Um, no. Okay, let me get the next one. So had a really, really good day considering the craziness. It was a crazy day, actually. I feel like looking back on it, I don't, it's kind of wild that I actually profited what I profited. This is where I had a loss. I had a $580 loss and I missed the best entry. I think maybe because I was jaded. I don't know. I had already, had taken the loss. I followed my rules. So rules are 116 was a level, the red LRC. Now, granted, if you're trying to follow this with your charts, guys, this is the 2 multiplier with the version 5. I had a push up pre-market. It actually closed right on 116, came back down, held, went way down, went back up, went down, closed. I waited for the next, this one kind of closed here. I got in on this candle. So I got in here. I did scale out a couple, but not enough, or I scaled 5 actually. I scaled 5 on the way I know how to I do this is I go back and review my actual orders. So I scaled 5 right here at the red LRC, and then I held and I was like, well, the 116 is my absolute stop, and I'm just going to allow that to be my stop out. So of course, I was hoping for a pullback, a rejection, and a continuation down. When I got this right here, I thought, yes, yes, I'm on the right side of it, right? I got it totally faked out. That right there, all day long tells me, hey, this could go, the direction that you want it to go. But it was also trading into the 20 and the 200, and the other thing, that 20 had already started turning to the upside. Doesn't mean it can't flush through it though, guys, right? So, you know, that can happen. But anyhow, I waited for it to close and then I exited on the next candle going up, and I probably didn't get out until probably a little bit up. So I ended up taking a $580 loss on this trade. Hindsight, if I had not got in, this would have been a beautiful entry right here, guys. You get your move above. You kind of get a retest. Now, you didn't get a genuine retest with a break and retest of a major level, but you can always, give it a shot, but be prepared to get out. That way you're not risking too much. If typically I want to see, a retest, I'm just going to draw it as lines. I want to see price come above, maybe come above a little bit, work its way back, start getting some buying pressure, and then boom. That's right here's where I want to enter. That just helps me to, it just gives me more confidence that the market makers aren't trapping me. Because a lot of times they'll just move it strong above a level, cause everybody to get in and then sell it off, and then cause everybody to get out. And then they buy it back up, which is probably what they did right there. Um, so anyhow, this would have been a great entry right at the bottom of this green as soon as it started. Scale out at the yellow, scale out at the green, hold, exit on this one right here. Boom, simple. And would have been a good profit depending on how many contracts. Even if you just got one, you probably would have been up $100 or maybe $120 depending on where you bought your contracts. I always buy at the money. So excellent trade. Could have been an excellent trade. I did not get that. This one also could have been another. This may have been tough though, right? Because you got faked out 1, faked out 2, faked out 3 times, and this would have been a 4th fake out right here. So the only thing you could have done, which is viable, wait for the move above the 20 EMA, but have your risk at the 116. and or use the 200 EMA as your risk out since it's so close. That's a very viable and a good trading strategy or rule to help you if you get in, to keep you from FOMOing out and taking a loss, then you finally get your move. However, by doing that, of course, you're gonna have to risk more, which means you'll take a bigger loss. So anyway, just a concept or an idea to pay attention to when you are trading. If you're willing to risk a little more, you just have to be okay with your risk, not upset at the trade. You got in where you thought was a good time, and if it failed, it failed. That's just the way it goes sometimes. There is no crystal ball. There is no absolute perfect trading setup. Oops, I think I just messed up my. How do I get this thing to come over here? Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize that this had already popped up over there. I'm sitting here trying to move it on my other monitor to this monitor, and it's already on this monitor. So, okay, I got a little bit crazy with FOMC and part of this is because I have done substantially well over the last several weeks. So, if I risk a little, I've gained a bunch, but I'm not going to get, I will keep that in check, I promise. I'm not going to get arrogant or anything with it or overconfident. I have a little bit more to play with, so I was willing to try some SPX with FOMC, and I did. I got a little hindsight. I probably got a little carried away, but not too bad. Like this was only like 10 minutes after the FOMC started, so I wanted to see kind of what was going on. We got this crazy down up candle and some other crazy candles. This actually would have paid huge if you got it right away, but I wanted to see what happened, give it some time. Had some guys, some other members come in to trade the FOMC as well and did fantastic. This one, a couple people got that, and that just made their day. It was awesome. They're like, "Yep, I'm out. I'm done." So great trade right here. Fantastic. So I did get in on this move, which is a classic, LRC 20 EMA retest trade for me. This works over and over and over and over and almost never fails. So that's why I keep trading it, and I'm not going to stop until it stops, but or until it stops working. But the I got in here and I exited there. Or no, I scaled. Sorry. I exited. I should have taken profit at the green, but it went so strong down that I really thought I was gonna get the big move. And darn it, if it didn't just it popped right back up to this is my long LRC. And you can see that how much it's being respected. So part of what I was watching when I was trading is the stock hit the long LRC, went back up, hit the long LRC, went back up, retested, shot through the long LRC. So my thought process is, now granted, you have to remember with the long LRCs, these are being put in on the 4 hour time frames, 1 hour time frames a lot of times. So this is an area. It is not just a line. I just used a line for a reference. I know it's kind of crazy how good it can hit right dead on the line, like there, like seriously came down, opened right on the line, went up. This one hit exactly dead on the line. It's just kind of crazy. It does hit it, but I'm just wanting to point out, don't expect the long LRC to be like a finite line. My sound is low. I got a new headset. This thing is, maybe I can, let me see if I can turn up my mic. Hello, hello. Let me see if that is that any better, Joe? I got a new headset and that's the best I can do with it unless I start screaming. Can you let me know if that's better? It says that I'm up in the high levels on the OSB, but I don't know. So anyhow, just let me know. I appreciate you letting me know that it was low. Okay, so anyway, I exited on this push up here. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I exited on this at 3 and I made a $350 profit. So wasn't a bad trade. I did give back a lot more than I should have. I should have exited here. I think I was up like 600 at this point, and I ended up, or like it was 660. I remember talking to one of the members, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm already up 660 on this thing," and then bam, it went up, and I was like, "Awesome!" I gave back like half. So, um, but something that's really important, just keep in mind if you start using the long LRC, and I urge you to, it's absolutely, I will never, ever, ever trade without it. It's that good. It is truly that good. Same with the Anchored LRC, but that's an incredible thing to watch. So because this came back and regained right here, that and then kind of went back down, retested it again, came back up. That kind of gave, I actually got in a little early here. The funny thing is I did scale out. So it was a real quick profit. I got in calls. I scale oh wait a minute. I didn't exit here. I scaled here at the top of 5, but I was in drawdown right here and I'd scaled enough that I only bought two contracts. So I try to buy at least two so I can scale out and lock in profit. So I scaled out and I got it like right at the top. But I also on a couple of these I got terrible entries. Like I got horrible entries. I was in the negative right from the get-go, and I haven't had that happen in a long time to me. But it was pretty rough. I was telling the group that I was like, my gosh, that sucks. Because as soon as I entered, I was like down, 120, $140 like right out of the gates. I was like, oh crap, I've got to make that up and profit. So anyway, I scaled at 5. Um, for no other reason than it just pushed. I'm trading in the 200, which I know that I'm trading into the 602, the 602.50 level. So I'm cognizant of where I'm trading. I don't like trading into those levels, but I was trying to just get some scalps, and that's what I did. When this pulled back, I was at a small loss because I had scaled out here, but I think I was at like a 200, maybe or close to a $300 loss on this big push down. But as soon as it started moving up and closed right here, I was okay with it. Then I got this big move, which was fantastic. So this move made it worthwhile. I exited the trade. Oh, I forgot to put in the profit on that one, didn't I? Oh crud, I can't remember. Let me go look at my. Okay, so I didn't profit as much as I thought I did, but um, I did profit $320 on this trade. So I may not have got as high up as I thought I did on this. So anyway, when I scaled out, I did end up getting out right here for $321. Then, interestingly enough, it happened to have a lot to do with, of course, the news that was coming in. I was just listening to Jerome Powell in another live, and he had mentioned something that was somewhat, well, he had mentioned it here that it was pretty bullish. And then he made another comment like as this was coming up. So I went ahead and exited the first trade. And then I realized, you know what, I'm going to load up some more just in case. And I loaded them in time that I got right back in on this trade. And I scaled out on 8. I held through drawdown and I exited on 9 for a $700 profit. And that was my day. I actually traded way more times than I really um, than I really expected to because of there being news, because of it, being a um, earnings coming out at the end of the day. So if you guys are not sure about the earnings and don't look at those, I do post those every day in my Discord. And let me pull those up real quick. This was the earnings today. It's not very clear, but this was the earnings. This is before open earnings. This is after open earnings. Tomorrow before open earnings, if you guys want to take a snapshot or come back and look at this is if you don't have this is what's happening tomorrow. Apple, after hours, Intel, Visa. Those are the only real big ones that I'm concerned with. After hours was Tesla earnings, Meta earnings, Microsoft. So big day today. So that's why we had such a choppy day. But, I'm not going to go over a whole lot other than I can just show you excellent areas. I mean, there were so many areas, or so many trades today that really, I remember, I think it was Path. I called this one out to the group. Oh, it just didn't go well, but it just literally rode the 20 all day. Like you could have just got in this and held the whole day until right here is your second consecutive green close above. All the way to this candle. I mean, you could have taken it to its, well, basically to the level, right? So it went from 14 to 15. It's only 1 point, but man, if you get it, those are going to be pretty cheap, 20 cents, at the money. You could probably, depending on your account, buy 20, 30, 40, man. By the time it gets down here, you're up, $1,500 or whatever. So, could have been a really good trade. There was a lot of, I mean, this strategy works pretty much no matter what. Do you have fake outs? Sure. Just like I did with AMD. It didn't go. And I allowed that one to go a little further than I usually do. But, that is what it is. It happens. I'm trying to look and see if there's any like outliers. Oh man, look what happened with Oracle. What a awesome trade that would have been. This is a long LRC level. Went above, broke down, and look at it. Shoo! Oracle had a pretty bad downside today. Oh, I know Baba. Baba was strong today because of, I guess, some news from them. I know a couple of guys in the group caught Baba and did very well off of the levels. So good trade here. As a matter of fact, I know that one of the people that traded right up to the very top, got the very, very, very top. That's kind of ugly. So I think that's about it. But check out Boeing. What a great trade this would have been. I probably wouldn't have traded to the 177.34, but I would have called it afterwards. Scaled out here, held, and exited here. Could have exited here. This was a pretty good distance from the 20 EMA. And then got back in here. And then you could have held it all the way to here. So very easy. The thing I hope I'm helping people with is just hoping IWM and it. Yeah, I showed IWM earlier. I did not. I watched NVIDIA today. I didn't get in it. It actually looked like it went pretty good. Um, yeah, IWM, I got in and I exited here. So I got out of it at the right time, right at my LRC level. Um, and yeah, IWM was kind of rough today. Once it came back down, it just had a rough day. This level right here that I have, if you don't have this on your chart, you should. The 227.50 seems to be more uh, prominent, but the 227 is also there. Check this out. They both matter, so that's why I have the entire thing. I don't want to trade inside this. I want to trade outside of this. Once it clears the top or clears the bottom, I get in. Let me look at NVIDIA for you. NVIDIA was probably fantastic. I stayed away from it today because I was just concerned. Oh boy, yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. Could have traded that both down and up. Like right here, you could have done a breakout, came up, pushed down off the 200, closed below the 122, started pushing down off the 122. Let me change my oh, wait a minute. Am I on the wrong day? I'm on the wrong day. Ha, 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 ha. I told you I didn't watch it today. I think this is the right day. Yeah, this is the right day. Okay, so kind of a similar thing, but could have could have possibly got, now I don't know if you'd get shaken out. It just depends on how you want to how you would manage it. If you're managing it with two consecutives, you could have got this entire rundown. And what I mean is two consecutive closes after you enter. But the entry would have been good at on this candle here. I would have got in after this red. I would have entered here, moved down, probably taken a little bit off on that big bump. Watch what's happening. Closes below, doesn't get over, closes over, comes back with a red, and you're staying with the 20, so there's no reason to get out. One other thing to look at is when you're seeing this, let me see if I can do when you're when you're seeing this consolidation, I tell the group, hey, draw a box around it, and if you break below it, that's your entry. And this would have been a re-entry, which would have coincided with my typical trade strategy, which is you're coming down, you reject the 20 again, you reject it again. You could have added here, waited for the pullback, add here, pullback, add again, exit at the 124. You have a decent trade, right? That's not a bad move. Got to pull back to the 20 again, came below 124. That would be your entry here. If you missed all of this, this would have been your entry right here. You have consolidation, push up, showing you that it's going down. Scale out yellow, exit at 122. Pretty much could have been a beautiful trade there. Then you have this, which is your sideways consolidation. You stay out of that mess, right? You don't trade into either one of these. You wait for this drop below and enter. Take profit at the LRC. This is a long LRC, so it's actually holding that level. So when I go back and look at this tonight, I will notice that, okay, NVIDIA is respecting the long LRC and is now pushing to the other side of the long LRC. So that's how I use it, how I review it. And I'll go to the 1 hour real quick. And look at this is the long LRC. It is respecting it and pushing up off of it. So it's actually this may actually become a really good swing trade, guys. It's literally setting up right now to be a good swing trade for the upside. Even though it's had this weak move down, I can see it's literally holding this long LRC level. So because of that, now it's not a really steep incline. I guess it's not terrible. Um, and this goes back a long ways. This is a very long LRC. Um, it goes all the way back to June. So all the way back to June is where I started drawing this one. And you can see what happens whenever you have a test of this orange, a test of the orange. Look how much you get. Huge, huge move. Test of orange. Look at that move. And this is over, let's see, this is 9, let's say 9, 5th of September. And it moved, I'll just say this high here, which is a good move, is October. So it's a month out, right? So 1 month out move. This one was to kind of give you an idea, like 8.7 to, 8, what is that? Maybe 20 days out, right? So you had a huge, huge potential 20 days out. Same thing here, huge move. Of course, you get your downsides, right? But when you're in an uptrend, we've been in a downtrend lately, but overall we've been in an uptrend. So and this is what I did the other day when I had that really good Amazon trade. Amazon came down, hit the 116 level, came down, hit the is it the 116 level? Yeah, I think that was my long LRC was riding that. And once it hit it, I bought midday. I was like, I'm buying this for, a swing trade. And I bought February 7th. I already exited that. It was like a $4,200 profit. So it was a great, great, great swing trade. Would have been about a $12,000, $11,000 profit, but I ended up scaling out on my target levels. I hit all 3 target levels and it moved even higher. But because I scaled a lot out early on, I took half off right away. Then I took half of the half off. So then I only had a few left. But this right here is setting up to be a swing trade to the upside. You probably get in it early and see if it works for you. Oh, and here I'll put this is the information of the linear regression channel, so you guys can do a snapshot of this. And you can make it match mine if you want to by copying this. The begin point area allows you to edit and write it in. So you can just go in and write this in. And then the end point, you're going to have to drag the node to as close to this as you can get it, because they don't let you they don't let you edit this, which kind of sucks. It would be really nice if you could edit this. Let's see, Tron, are you drawing the LR? Only the long LRC, yes. The long, and that's why I refer to it as the long, because this is the one I draw manually. The one that draws automatically is I'll just call it it's my Anchored LRC, but that's the one I use for I use this for intraday trading too, but it's the one that starts at 4 a.m. and is anchored from 4 a.m. to 9:29. I cannot find one. What's up, logo? I cannot find. I've tried many times to get a long LRC to work. They're just not accurate enough. They're too. It's just too. It's very subjective. You have to like pull it to where you feel it's at the best location. I'll show you guys real quick. I'll go through I'll just do a clean one. Bear with me 1 second. I don't know why this is freezing. Okay. What am I trying to do? Oh, I am trying to get rid of the highlight so it's cleaner. Okay. So I'll just do a 4 hour, and actually I can just here's how I draw it, Tron. It's just your regression channel. And how I start out drawing these is I'll just look at a time frame and try to find a, an uptrend timeline or a downtrend. Right now, Nvidia's in a downtrend, right? So we'll look at this for now. Of course, my other one was way further back, but all I do is get somewhere around it, okay? Don't be so concerned where you're getting right away. So the goal is, I'll highlight it. The goal is to move it until you get like pivots right on your levels, okay? And they're not going to be perfect. You're going to have some wicks come through, some bodies, I mean, that's why I said it's subjective. You really have to try to find what looks to be the best. And one of the things to key in on is to try to in on, like, if your long LRC is in a downtrend, then you want to key in on the upper points hitting and going down, right? When they hit, that's when they come down. So in this short time frame, you'll be able to see when you're trading during the day. Like if you're trading this during the day and all of a sudden it comes down and is right here, I exit. I usually just get out, or I'll sell all but like one or two, and I'll hold runners, because this is what happens 99% of the time when price hits the LRC levels. Uh, or let me say maybe 80% of the time. I don't really know the percentage, but it's so crazy how good it works. Um, but you have to, you have to refine it, try to get it as close as you can. And then if you want to make it a little bit more refined for your intraday trading, go to a 1 hour. I sometimes start with a 4, but if you go to a 1 hour, you may see where it's a little bit more, um, I'd say, accurate, or hitting more points, so you can like really rely on it. And let's say I'm just gonna put it there on that one. Hit the bottoms here, and then I will drag. And this is what I do in the mornings, which takes me a while because I do it for probably like 40 different stocks, or at least 30 different. I think I put in it. I know I do pretty much all 24 of the stocks that we have. Now, granted, you don't have to continually do it. Once you have them set, they're set. The only time you have to change them is when the price goes outside the range. Or let's say this one's has like been in an uptrend for a while but hasn't broke outside of a range. You can then, on that next time that you're messing with it, just turn it and go up. You can make these as short of a time period as you want. I mean, you could literally, oh, why does it do that to me? You could literally make your linear regression tool just like that if you want to. But for me, I want bigger levels. I want it to have more of a meaning. Like when it gets to here, I have a very good understanding when I'm watching this happen during the day. I can see price action starting to reject that level. So it tells me right away it lets me know, hey, get out of this trade. Um, does the LRC move with price? I saw your Discord Dalex posted chart. No, mine stays pretty well anchored. There's been a couple times where I had like, and I don't know if that was more of a glitch with TOS. There's been a couple times where like, now I'm talking about my anchored LRC. There's been a couple times where I've had the anchored LRC. It at one point was like right on the tops of something, or early day, and then as the day went on, it had moved like a little bit above or a little bit below. I saw that happen maybe on 2 occasions for the year that I've been trading this. Um, so I don't, it doesn't move, it's fixed. Does this move? No, you're drawing it in, that's it, it stays there. If you're asking about the long LRC. The Anchored LRC, I know that there's been some people, I don't know what's causing their levels to change unless they are going to higher time frames. Now that will affect it because you have to realize that the Anchored LRC is built to the way it's designed or coded is to utilize the pre-market, right, and the highs and the lows, and it then basically provides a support and resistance levels for the rest of the day that work. And if you turn that into a 10-minute or let's say a 15-minute, your lines are going to be a little bit off from the 2-minute, just simply because the highs and lows will be off somewhat. So that's why I only use it with the 2-minute to trade daily, and I'm speaking about my Anchored LRC, which is an indicator. I use the LRC version 5. That's what I use. I don't use anything else anymore. I got rid of all the rest. There's no point. The version 5 is fantastic. Um, so, but the long LRC, no, it won't move. It just stays where it is. Um, and so that's actually how I apply them. And you can go even further back and catch the overall upside, right? Like just say come down to this area. Let me go to a 4 hour. It's so good, man. You know, the one thing that I can say about the Anchored LRC is I think for me my trading has I don't know if I've evolved or I've changed some. The Anchored LRC has been pretty much everything for me. However, I'm using all of the above, Tron. So I use support resistance levels. They take precedence over the Anchored LRC. So if I am moving above a support and resistance level, um, what helps me to know when to get in is especially like at the start of the day, if I get a candle that pushes down and hits and it wicks up off of the LRC line, but then crosses a major like a support resistance level, I am man, I am that's like A plus for me. As long as it's holding over, it's over the 20, over the 200. I'm all in, and I will then that will be my exit. It just gives me that much more confidence when the LRC has been used as an actual wick point comes down, tests it, and then the buying pressure or goes up and selling pressure pushes it off. That just tells me that this is it's gonna go. Um, as for entries, the funny thing is it used to be my main entry. Um, it used to be my main entry tool because I didn't have anything else. I would just trade the Anchored LRC once price went above, held above a level, the next candle up, I got in. But now I'm really just using a conglomeration. Um, I'm using long LRCs. I'm using the Anchored LRC mainly for my. Uh, I'm using the Anchored LRC. I'd say more for target levels. It's incredible for target levels, man. Um, yeah, I do 0 DTE on SPX and SPY, but I do, this week's on, on all stocks that have this week's. And I'll just trade this week's every day, even until Friday. Sometimes I will switch to next week's, like let's say Apple, and their prices are like 10 cents or something or 20 cents because Friday the prices go down at 0 DTE. I will possibly go to next week's and get it so that I can get in around a $2 or $3 range at the money. But I do always buy at the money. I very rarely ever get buy out of the money or in the money. Um, I have bought in the money a few times. I've literally tried that stuff every way you could imagine. So I've just found I don't even care. I don't even pay attention to the deltas. I don't pay attention to any of that. I just get at the money and go for it. And when I reach a level, I take profit. That's it. I see a lot of people get all, concerned about which one, what area, what. I don't do that anymore. I tried all that mess. All I do now is I literally go and grab puts at the money, calls at the money, and I load them in my watch list. And then as soon as I that trade starts to work out, or I see that I'm ready to get in, I just use that and I get in. The only time I change those, of course, is when the price has moved too much before I could get in. I'll just go reload the next one at the money because it's either in the money or out of the money. So I'll just go and readjust it. But yeah, so this is the long LRC. Back to that. That's how I load it. That's how I put it in. And I'll just you could spend a few minutes to get it really, really, really accurate. And once you've got it accurate, you're done. And that thing will work for you for months. And every time on the grids, you'll see it on your grids. You'll see it while you're trading. Um, and then once you break through your outer levels, you can adjust it. Or if you're really, wanting to, you can add in between levels. I did put a minus 0.25 and a 0.25 also on here because I noticed on some stocks lately they were literally well, let's see if this one did. The in between next to the mean was really getting respected, and you can see it does here. Granted, I don't want to have too much overkill, right? But it does. This would have saved your butt, right? You're in this thing. You're like, okay, I'm approaching this level. Watch what price does at the level to give you an idea. Do I get out? Do I stay in? You start seeing it reject, you get out. How many paying folks do you have in the Discord these days? I think 22 right now. 22 or 24. I've had quite a few people come in recently, and I think they just came in to learn and left, which is fine, and that's kind of what it's about. As long as if you learn. For me, I would, of course, I'd love for people to stay in, but I think also I just enjoy having an awesome group, to trade with, and right now we have just a fantastic group of people, man. It's actually quite a bit of fun. It's a highlight, one of the highlights of my day. So it's pretty awesome. So that's how I write. That's how I draw the long LRCs. If you're interested, I would absolutely encourage you guys to start using it. It's so incredible. It really is. Let me show you what happened with my Amazon trade. Let me see if it should still be on it. Oh, it was 216. I said 116. Um, Let me go to my clean. Got so much stuff here. Okay. When did I take that trade? It was. Oh, I think I've already adjusted this. I already adjusted it. But in any event, it was right here when it came down to the 216 level and it rejected here. And this line's actually kind of working out, but it's a little higher than it was that day because I readjusted it for some of the movements. But I entered, and what's funny is 116 or 216 was going to be my exit. Do I put in a stop? No, I just do it all manually. I have stops, I watch my trades and I get out. You can. The problem these days, man, I feel like every time I put in a stop loss, I get just stopped out for no reason. Like they come down and get it. It's kind of obvious sometimes. So I wait and watch, and then I get out when the action happens. Now, I know if you're trading and you can't sit in front of your desk to trade, I get it. That's kind of tough. You could do that, but you have to realize that they can see your stop losses when you put them on the board. They know where they are, and heck, if it's worth it to them, they'll come down and get it. Because guess what? They're wanting to move up. Let's just say you're in calls. It's better for them to go get your stop loss at a low price. They buy it, and then they're doing even better because your stop loss was there. But the this was the swing trade I got into, and I almost had to exit, and I was in pretty heavy, so this would have been a decent loss for me. But I got in like right here after I noticed that it did come down and hit the 216 level, but most importantly pushed up off of the long LRC. This is where I got into my Amazon swing trade. My absolute stop loss was going to be 216. It came down. I felt really good when I saw it consolidating right here. Um, that actually was like told me this is going to continue because you'll notice it'll literally consolidate sometimes along the long LRC. It'll just keep going with it. Um, and so I did get these were my, let's see, 228 was one target, 231 was the second target, 233 was the third target. I hit all three of those, and then I held two. I exited one at this level, and I exited the last one. I think I exited both on this day. So I exited one here, and then I exited one when it pulled back to the 233. But I was able to get like a $4,200 profit, and it was literally because of the long LRC. I'm going to continue swing trading um, in the future. I just I haven't. It's I spend so much time doing what I do. I have to also spend some time looking at the long LRCs and finding the best setups coming in. So I will continue to do that, and I do put them in the Discord. Matter of fact, I put this one in the Discord under. We have a swing trade group. Let's see. I'm going back up. Okay, this was my actual. This is what I posted in Discord. What I was telling everyone that I was doing. What I was looking for. So I posted this in, let them know that I got in here. This was going to be my exit or this was going to be my exit, but I was looking for it to retest here and continue. And it did what I was hoping it would do. Of course, it like any trade, it could fail, right? It could always fail. So it could have easily went up, crashed right back through, went down to 216. So you just have to be prepared to hop out of things, and reduce your risk. Are you buying puts when things get to the upper range of the long LRC? It kind of depends. I haven't started doing that yet. There are many times where I wish I had, Tron, because there was times where I traded intraday. Let me see if I can get an intraday to show up. Excuse me. Um, so let's see. Let me see. Like for instance, right here. In this trade, it gets above this. I knew that what the long LRCs look like. So once it got above this level, I felt really good. It broke through here and here, right? Went up, hit this level right there. Matter of fact, I had somebody in this trade, and she asked me, Nix asked me what my next level was. I told her 241, or most importantly, the long LRC. She called this entire. It was absolutely incredible. There was a lot of hooting and hollering. I can assure you. Um, and so she caught this trade. Oh, is it messed up again? Man, I just got this headset too. I think I need to just get myself a mic. So right here would have been a sound is bad still. Can you tell me if it's better? Did it get better? Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, man, this is a bad mic. If I move it just a hair away from my mouth, it uh which I guess accidentally did, you can't hear me. I have to work on that. I'll see if I can turn it up. Um, so the this would have been one of those situations where you could, but this happens all the time. I'll trade up to and exit at one and realize that it just comes all the way back down to the next, back down to the other side, the other channel leg. And I have yet to do that. I literally just take profit there. Um, and that's something maybe I can work on as a trader, is trying to get into trades that are, try to catch the bottoms and tops each time. I mean, but right now I'm doing really well just catching the moves that I want to catch. I have increased my risk, so I'm actually profiting quite a bit more. Oh yeah, yeah. Swing trades, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was just showing earlier on the you can do it either for um puts or calls. Even if you're like, for instance, if I let me go back to a 1 hour chart. Let me get a clean chart. I will let me remove all this stuff. So let me put in a long LRC for you real quick. I'll do a one way back. Let's see how we can get this one to work out. And this is how I do it. I just sit here until I get many of the points hitting. And so I'll leave it at that for now. But yes, you could. The thing that you have to keep in mind though, that I've noticed, Tron, is whenever you are in a significant uptrend like Amazon is, right? And it has been since August. So whenever you're in a significant uptrend, what I've noticed is you want your best moves are going to be off. Whoops, your best moves are going to be off. I thought I had clicked my tool. Off your bottom pivots. That's where you're going to get the best moves. Now, this one wasn't a bad move here, but what you will notice, and it doesn't happen all the time, but it is kind of interesting if you start drawing these and go back and look, you'll notice that you'll get a move over. It may drop a little bit, drop, it's starting to go down some here, and then boom, you go up. In some cases, you'll notice that it's literally just a consolidation, although it seems like it's a big drop. You'll have like a move, I'm just going to draw it in. You'll have like a move up, and then you'll have this consolidation kind of sideways. It's going down, but not a lot. And then boom, another move up. You'll get to another level. You get a consolidation sideways. Boom, another move up, and your moves up are awesome. It's not always that way, but you will notice that. So it's better to trade with the trend of the long LRC, in my opinion, if you're going to do swings. Can you get a can you get a good trade-off like this? Sure, absolutely. I mean, you have to use this as your stop out. You'd be a draw down here, Because also as it keeps retesting it, you're going to be moving higher than you entered each time, right? So and that also depends on the steepness of the anchored LRC. I mean, this may be getting like deep in the woods, but it all matters. Yeah, test it some yourself on stocks, and you'll see, man, it's pretty crazy how when you get on trends, how important it is to trade with the trend. How much better the move is up than it is down. This one's not the best example, but in some cases, like you'll get the big move from this level to this level, which is your one deviation, right? You'll have that sometimes in just a day or 2 days. And you can make bank off of that move. Let's say in 3 days, right? But then it consolidates for like a week or sometimes 2 weeks, comes back down to the level and boom, goes back up again. So you can do that over and over and over. The only downside to it is, like, I guess anything with swing trading is you have to catch when it's getting down and be prepared for, when it gets there. I don't know if you know this, but in TOS, once you have this set, let's just say you have it set and you see price coming down and you want to know when this gets crosses this blue line, right? You can right click this blue line, create alert withdrawing, and it will, and now I use a voiceover, so it actually says it for me. It'll let me know what's crossing, and this one says long LRC. So I would put that in, hit create, and now if this price comes down to this line and crosses, whether it crosses up or below, I get an alert that says long LRC, and I can see it's on Amazon. Then I can go and take a look at it. So you can set up those to help you. If you know it's going to be pushing down to one of the levels, just to kind of, help be prepared for it. Um, but yeah, no, I definitely will be swing trading more frequently because it's just become uh, super simple and pretty. I'm pretty confident in using the long LRC for that now. I have traded like 3 times, and all three I've had. Uh, I was profitable with the long LRC off these levels. My best one was the Amazon though, by far. That was a $4,200 trade, and that was fantastic. Um, it could have been, like I said, a lot more, but I was a wuss, and I scaled out. I always scale out. But anyway, do you guys have any more questions? I am about to hop off and go hang out with the fam for the last little bit of time. Unless you guys have some questions, I'll be more than happy to answer or look at anything for you. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Hopefully that works out. The issue that I have, Tron, is that you can't. I've tried several of the um, indicators. I actually created one myself too, for a long LRC because I was trying to create one that would keep me from having to deal with doing this all the time. The problem is that I have yet to find one that can be as finite and really be at the proper levels. So sometimes you may get faked out because the levels aren't aligning properly. So that's why I just decided I'm just going to draw them. And I tried for weeks. I had people try to make them for me. I used scripts that were already made that had anchors, weeks back, years. You can put in the dates. I've had scripts that worked off of the zigzag code. So it would go back and find the highs and lows and use those as its guide. But it just never put the lines where I wanted them, where I used it. It was like you might get this one or this one back here, but up here you were like way off. Like it wasn't even where the pivots were happening. So I decided to just abort. I tried it over and over. I couldn't get it to work, and neither could several coders. I tried to get some coders and use ThinkScript for them to do it, and they did write some codes, and they were anchorable, and they worked, but they didn't work like I want them to work when I'm using them. So I just decided I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I'm just going to go in and do it manually. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty it hasn't been good enough to use that way, so that's why I just draw them manually. It doesn't take that long to draw them, and they do last. They last for the entire trend. Oh man, anytime, man. Anytime you need help, you can always. Do I have the charts live? No. I just call it out because honestly, I tried doing the charts live. The problem is I'm watching the grids for most of my information. And the grids are what's giving me the details of when I'm going to trade. And so it kind of got a little bit confusing because I would be like on Apple and be like, okay, okay, I'm getting ready to get into, SPY, or I'm getting ready to get in Microsoft, but that's because I watch the grids. So I just call out what I see happening, and everybody can take the trades that they want to take. And, and to be honest, I don't really want it to be a copycat thing. I want people to learn and to, learn to do it themselves and to be successful, not just copying my trades. And that's why I show all the trades so you can go back and review, and possibly that can help you, hopefully. But yeah, I don't trade with my charts live anymore. I was doing that, and it was just it I think me calling it out is far better. Um, so I call it out, and I just allow the group to make their trades. The beautiful thing is the group helps out as much. I do most of the talking, but we're all able to talk in my group. Um, and sometimes we get a lot of chatter that I have to try to chill out a little bit. But for the most part, everybody's professional, everybody's respectful. Um, the the really, like what I was going to say, the really awesome thing is there's stocks that I don't pay attention to sometimes, but some of the group members, man, they're able to see more news, they're able to see things that I don't get a chance to take a look at because I'm busy. And it helps out tremendously. I mean, we have guys in there and girls in there that come in and they're like, "Hey, did you guys hear this today?" We'll look at it and be like, "Oh, that's our trade. Let's take a look at that." Sure enough, it sets up perfectly, and we all get to reap the benefits. Um, we also have people that will call. Okay. Um, we have some people just call out, say, "Hey, I'm getting into this today," and sometimes it's just stocks that I don't typically look at or trade, and they're just phenomenal trades. So it's actually really awesome. Everybody's helping, everybody's trying to help everyone, so it's really cool. Um, but if I will help you guys as much as you need. As much as I can. If you have questions, you can always come into the non-member side if you haven't yet, and just drop me questions in Discord. Um, and I'll be more than happy to, to help you out, or even go live like this on a chart with you and go over things. So I try to help people as much as I can, but obviously if I'm available, I'll definitely do it. So anyhow, I'm going to call it right there. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Hopefully I helped you out. Hopefully you guys had a good day today. It was rough. I don't know how I pulled off what I pulled off today, but um, I guess I got the better trades today, with the exception of AMD. I have thought of that, Tron. I think part of it is I feel kind of like I need to stay loyal to the people that are in there, and by doing that, they didn't get that. So I have thought about it. I just don't want to, I just don't think it's fair to the people that have been in there and they've been in there for, gosh, for a long time. You know, they've been in there for a long time. So, a couple of them are about to get some surprises though. So, because they do a lot of helping in the community, so they don't know it yet. They may now, but um, they help out quite a bit, giving information, providing news, and so they're about to get a little surprise, hopefully. So anyway, with that, I will let you guys go. Hey, be careful tomorrow. We still have a lot of news. We have earnings. I would say take profits quick. Just be careful this week. I think it may just be a choppy week. I could be wrong. The thing could fly, man. It could fly. Um, Thank you, Logo. I really appreciate that. I truly do. I think my goal is I hope I can help everyone, and in the process, I'm getting better. Um, doing better than I ever really thought I ever would consistently was. It's absolutely insane. Part of the reason I'm running out of things to say on my thumbnails. It's just absolutely crazy. It really is. So anyway, I was telling the group today I feel like I'm blessed, but I don't think God cares how I trade at all. So anyway, guys, you guys have a great evening. I appreciate it. If you have questions or you want to be a part of the community, um, the link's in the description. We would love to have you be a part of it. And hope I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.